Meet Courtney, a beautiful, healthy, vibrant 17-year-old. But she wasn't always this healthy. In fact, as a young girl, some doctors weren't sure just how long she'd survive. So how did she? Well, her mother refused to accept traditional medical opinions and created her own treatment plan, which she'll share with us this hour on It's Your Call. It's a story that may surprise you, may leave you a bit skeptical, but it will definitely bring a smile to your face with its happy ending. It is a story of a mother's tireless effort to save her child's life. Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. I'm Lynn Doyle and this is It's Your Call, where our topic today is Curing Courtney, the story of one woman's refusal to believe what doctors told her when it came to her daughter's health. Denise Otten is that mother. Her youngest daughter, Courtney, was diagnosed with autoimmune hepatitis 1 when she was just 7 years old. After years of so-called traditional treatment, her condition worsened and her prognosis steadily declined. In fact, at one point, her parents were told she needed stronger meds, but they were given no promises those meds would work. A liver transplant was also a possibility. But Denise refused to accept what the doctor said and started to investigate holistic measures, which she says not just cured Courtney, but saved her. She recounts this sometimes horrifying journey in her new book, Curing Courtney. Doctors couldn't save her, so her mom did. And Denise Otten joins us first this hour. Denise, good to have you with us.
Thank you, Lynn.
Congratulations on the publication of the book. I know that this is something that you aspired to do for many, many years. Why did you feel it was so important to tell your story?
Well, for many years, it was really hard to tell the story because a lot of people said, oh, you know, they said, you're ridiculous, you're crazy. There's no way that that actually happened. And I said, wait a second, I saved my daughter, not you. But a lot of people told me, don't write it, you're not a doctor, who's going to listen to you? And as Courtney got older and more beautiful and healthy, I just had to share it with the world, because if I can find an answer that's an alternative answer to save my daughter, then it's possible, just possible, that you can too.
And you truly believe that you did cure her of the hepatitis 1 and that you essentially did save her life. You believe that strongly in your heart.
Oh no, I did. No, and let me just back up. It's remission. I use Curing Courtney because it's an alliteration and it captures your attention, but the truth is it's remission. It can come back, and I know it, and she knows it. And so we know that, okay, then we have the protocol, if it comes back, to reverse it again. But I know it. There's science backing it, and there's science within the book, and there's doctors that have found the answers. And Lynn, I didn't do this. I just found the doctors. I didn't actually find the protocol. I found the doctors and the science that's out there.
Okay, let's go back to the very beginning. She was just 7 years old.
Yeah.
Had always been healthy, big, beautiful blue eyes,
Gorgeous.
which you started to notice appeared to be a little jaundiced.
Right.
You took her to a doctor, there were tests, and the results came back that she had this autoimmune hepatitis 1.
Right.
What was your reaction to thinking that your 7-year-old had autoimmune hepatitis 1?
If you can imagine, you're sitting there and you're having a great life, you know, a mother of 3 children with the house in the suburbs. We both are working. It's very hard to provide a lifestyle that just is happy for our family. And your baby gets hepatitis. You just want to die right there in the doctor's office. And you know hepatitis is a possible death sentence. I don't have to explain that to the average American. The word hepatitis conjures up thoughts of a drunk person who has hepatitis who dies of liver disease. So you think, I'm going to die right here. My baby, 7 years old, could die? Please, God, take me instead of her.
So the thought that you might lose her was at the forefront of your mind. So of course, as any mother, you want to do exactly what the doctors say. Yes. Let's get my child cured as soon as possible. What did some of the treatment involve?
Well, let me explain something. When you have a child who has an autoimmune disease that is deadly, every year, every day of your life, you're afraid that you could lose your child. You try and put that in the back of your mind, but you follow the doctor's orders because really you're afraid and you don't know what to do. So you take the first person that you think is the best in the whole world at their trade and you follow their direction. to the T.
And that's what we are essentially trained to do. As we were kids and we grew up and we became parents, you know, when the doctor said, give the baby, you know, 2 Tylenol, or give the baby this, or the child this, we did it. I mean, that's how we were trained.
Exactly. And you go to the best doctors that you think, and we live near the New York area, so I said, well, New York is the best in everything, right? The doctors are supposed to be allegedly the best. We're going there.
Okay.
We found somebody top of the, and she ended up with strong drugs and prednisone, and as everyone knows, prednisone makes your body very fat and hairy.
So the impact on her not only was that she was ill and had to be treated as a sick child,
Right.
but then she had these very strong meds taking their toll on her body.
Yeah.
What kind of impact did it have on Courtney as a child?
You know, I always say to everybody, Courtney is one of the strongest people I know. I think she's stronger than me, because if I had to go through having prednisone, a prednisone life for 5 years on and off, which made her very heavy, and you know the moon face or the chipmunk cheeks that they show, and hair all over her body where we shouldn't be growing mustaches at 8 years old. We shouldn't be growing sideburns at 8 years old. We shouldn't have man's hair on our arms and legs and back and shoulders when we're 8 years old.
Did that make her a target of other children in elementary school?
Yeah, unfortunately it did. But, you know, children can be mean, and my older children were, there's a story that goes that my little tiny petite 5'3" child would attack boys if they teased her daughter, her sister,
her little sister.
And my oldest son also was just like, he was like the gladiator. He would protect her like a bodyguard. But the thing about it is that the community that we live in, which is like every American community, there's a lot of people want to stick together. And the ones that were our friends, that were our dear friends and neighbors, they all banded together and they told their children, don't you dare tease Courtney. And so Courtney herself never got teased directly to her face, except maybe one kid.
Okay, so not only was she dealing with the physical aspect of autoimmune disease, hepatitis, but then there's the emotional and the mental anguish that goes along with it. The family and the friends did everything they could to help her
Yes,
get through it.
they really did.
At one point, though, the doctors were unhappy with her progress and said, our treatment is not working. We want to step this up. We want to make her treatment even more aggressive, even stronger drugs we want to give to her. And at this point, what was your response?
Well, Lynn, I gave them 5 years. They told me it was going to take approximately 5 years. I did not like the idea of willingly giving my daughter strong drugs. And I come from a nutritional background. I've always believed that health and nutrition and fitness and good eating is good for you. It's going to elongate your life, and that's the way you should live your life. So for me to give my daughter these strong drugs, I just couldn't handle it. And unfortunately, after 5 years, they said, oh, the meds aren't working. We're going to have to give her stronger meds. And I said, no, not going to happen. So let me try another way.
And that other way was to come up with research that you conducted on your own, and it involved supplements, vitamins, nutrition, a combination of all of the above?
Yeah, and let me tell you, I could have been wrong. I might not have found it, but I went on the internet. In 2003, when she first got it, there was nothing on the internet that said there's an alternative way. And then in 2007, all of a sudden you didn't have too much Google, but you had more Google, you had Yahoo, you had all these different internet sites, plus PubMed.gov. I went on the internet, vociferously researched, and in 3 weeks, I found an answer. 2.5 months she was done. She was in remission in 2.5 months.
All right, you're going to have to explain to us how you were able to do that, because I know our viewers are very, very curious. We do have to take a quick break, though. We want to know what you think so far. Are you a believer in holistic or non-traditional treatments, or are you a little bit skeptical about their successes? Have you had a similar success story like Denise has had? And if so, do you have questions perhaps about this protocol? If you want to join in, you can email me directly right now at lynn@lynndoyle.net. As always, you can find us on Facebook and Twitter. We're going to take that short break. We'll be back with some of your thoughts and more of Denise's story right after this.
It's blowing in the wind. I did it.
Who am I looking at, Lynn? Am I looking?
Just talk to me. You can also talk. Are we bringing one over here?
Bringing the camera?
Alex is told to put over there. How do you want? Would you rather mark?
No, they should be together.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're fine.
We just need a camera over there.
We're so used to it. We hope we went auto.
No, he can flop. He'll be able to.
Why would you do that when there's a dead camera standing right there with nothing else to do?
I don't know.
No, if they're gonna stay together, then.
But not always. I'm going to interview them individually.
I'm going so fast, I'm not actually remembering what I'm saying.
Believe me,
So I'm
I've
staying
got
on
you.
task with you.
I've got you. Got you back, baby.
Good.
No problem.
And plug that book, girl,
It's coming up underneath the chiron is coming up.
of Curing Courtney.
20
Cool.
seconds.
Excellent.
You are looking at a picture of a beautiful young woman named Courtney Otten, who is alive and well today, according to her mother, because of a holistic protocol she adopted after exhaustive research. She's telling us about it this hour, and she's telling you about it in a new book called Curing Courtney. Doctors couldn't save her, so her mom did. The mom is with us now. If you have questions or comments, you can email me at lynn@lynndoyle.net. So Denise, right before the break, you were telling us that you actually looked into a nutritional way to deal with autoimmune hepatitis
right.
1. In a nutshell, what did that treatment involve?
In a nutshell, it's vitamins and nutraceuticals, and it's a plethora of them put together. I found 4 different doctors in the United States, and I put all their protocol together. It was mainly 2 guys, and the science and the research backed it up, and it was about 21 different vitamins.
So your daughter would take 21 different vitamins
Right.
and follow a very strict diet?
Yes, we
And
changed
you're
her diet
saying
completely.
that those 2 things combined were able to put her in remission from this deadly disease.
Right. And let me just tell you, this was in 2007. Now it's 2013. There have been on the internet, I found other people who actually have protocols that can create a remission in a hepatitis situation, which is beautiful. I'm so happy. But mine was vitamins and nutraceuticals and a strict diet that was organic, holistic, without wheat and milk and a lot of different other things that are.
Okay, now you know that there are people at home who are saying, wait a minute, you left some of the best doctors in the country and dismissed their suggestion to take stronger meds and to follow their protocol for a diet and vitamin supplement. You know, people are saying, is this lady crazy?
That's a really good point. I'm so glad you brought that up because there's a lot of people who don't believe it. But here's the theory. If you have an autoimmune situation, okay, your autoimmune system is down, so therefore your body attacks your liver and you get autoimmune hepatitis. Take it with every autoimmune system, you have to raise your immune system for it to not attack your body. So all I'm doing is strengthening her immune system. This is logical. I'm strengthening her immune system, I'm raising it up or balancing it out so that if a virus comes into her body, she doesn't take on the virus. She's able to battle it. If the hepatitis starts to occur, the body won't get hepatitis because her body can handle everything with a strong and balanced immune system.
Boy, you had to have a very strong belief in the research that you conducted to put your child's life in the hands of this protocol. Did you feel it without any hesitation that this was going to be successful?
I so did. And you see in the book, the one person on the internet that I only found one person that healed themselves holistically in 2007. But I held on to that person, and she happened to be the minister's wife. She was the wife of a Christian minister in Texas. I said, can it be any more obvious that this is the person I have to listen to? Or at least consider then she turned me on to all these doctors, and the research to back it up was what sold me.
Okay, on that note, we're going to ask our viewers what they think about this story so far. You can email me with any questions or comments that you have for Denise at lynn@lynndoyle.net. Now, throughout this ordeal, both Courtney and Denise had the support of their father and husband, respectively, Michael Otten, who is joining us now. Mike, it's good to have you with us.
Thank you, Lynn.
So you were sitting in the doctor's office and digesting this information when your 7-year-old was diagnosed with this possibly deadly disease. Did it ever cross your mind that you might lose your little girl?
Absolutely, but you try not to think of those things. I mean, that's not something that's a very positive thing. And Denise and I were trying to stay positive in this realm because of Courtney. You don't want to show her that. You don't want her to know how sick she really is. And in that realm, we really stayed together, and we really didn't tell anyone. I mean, it was really the two of us staying strong together to try to do what we could in order to get her healthy.
At the beginning, did you believe that the protocol the doctors set out would achieve the results that you wanted? It would save her or put her into remission?
Absolutely. I mean, I grew up in a small town in New Jersey in the 50s and 60s where I had one hometown doctor, and he was the guy who still made house calls, and you believed in him. He could cure anything, but doctors are only humans also. So I mean, really, to me it was very clear when we went to the doctor the last time and he wanted to put her on a stronger medication that it was time for a change, and we had to explore other options.
Was it clear to you because you felt like Courtney had suffered enough, or that it was clear to you because what had been done had not been working?
It was more so that what had been done wasn't working. After you give like 4 or 5 years and there's been no real positive results, you kind of look back and you say, hey, what are we doing here? I mean, there's got to be something else.
And you believed in this so-called alternative treatment, or did it take some convincing on Denise's part to get you on board?
Come on, the truth.
No, I mean, initially, I was a little skeptical, I'll admit that. But, when Denise takes up a project, I know she takes it to the max. I mean, she's like a bulldog. She'll get the answer, and we discussed it all along the way, and to me it made sense. It was logical. I mean, these medications were taking nutrients and vitamins out of her body and out of a growing child, and so she needed something to build her system up, and I just felt that it certainly couldn't hurt.
It couldn't make the situation worse.
That's correct.
That was what you believed. Well, we want to know what our viewers have to say about this. So again, you can email me at lynn@lynndoyle.net. You can also follow us on Twitter, and you can find us, of course, on Facebook. We're going to go to the telephone lines where we're joined by Kathleen now. Kathleen, thank you for being with us.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Are you a believer in this so-called non-traditional method of dealing with things, or are you kind of like so many of us, you think if the doctor says it's all go?
No, I'm actually a proponent and a true believer of alternative therapies and also a modified diet to be able to sort of strengthen the body to do its work. To have the body, I believe, has the power to heal itself if we actually fuel it with the right ingredients.
So you believe what Denise is a proponent of is that we can control our body's ability to react to sickness, illness, disease, that kind of thing?
I do, and if anyone were to see Denise in person, you see her. She's physically fit, and she endures health. I mean, she shows up as someone who's very healthy. So I think what's most important for people to take away from the book is just that there's so much detail there, and there's a lot of specificity on what the protocol was.
Okay.
And what I like is just that Denise didn't jump into this without doing her research, without actually seeking the right doctors, or seeking advice from the medical field. She went that route first and didn't get the results and didn't get the healing that she was looking for.
So it's not like she defied medical opinion. It was just
right.
in addition to
medical. Right. She was working with the medical field, and then went on to explore alternative therapies.
Okay, Kathleen, thanks very much. That's all the time that we have for your call, but I do appreciate your perspective on this.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. If you'd like to join in, let us know what you think about it. I know a lot of people have various opinions on this. Hers is that you did seek traditional medical opinion. So are you advocating to people who are watching the show to do that avenue first, to follow that avenue first, and then try alternatives, or do you suggest alternatives first now?
That's where we disagree.
I think it's important to continue to work with doctors. We're not certainly advocating move away from doctors. The advances in modern medicine have been tremendous, but I think it's the team approach that we're advocating.
Right.
The more people you can get together, okay, and the exchange of ideas, what's worked for one person, what's worked for another person, I think that it can only be for the common good of getting a person healed, and that's the goal here is absolutely to do that.
And you say you disagree on that?
I kind of disagree only because I come from a nutritional background, so I'm very into nutrition first and medicine second. He's into medicine first and nutrition in addition to it. So we differ there, but where we come together is when it sounds logical, when we have a doctor that we have agreeing with us, and there's a protocol that's already in place. I'm not creating it. I'm not making it up out of my head. I'm not actually, writing a recipe.
Voodoo. You're not the voodoo doctor? Okay. I have to take a break. What do you think about this concept? Do you think it could work? Would you consider it if you were dealing with an issue like this? Or are you skeptical? Are you saying, hey, maybe this was 1 in a million where it worked? If you want to tell us what you think, you can do so during the break. I'm at lynn@lynndoyle.net. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining us once again, everyone. I'm Lynn Doyle. This is It's Your Call, and our topic today is Curing Courtney. That's the title of a new book by Denise Otten. She tells the story of her journey with her daughter and what she says was a protocol that she essentially created after doing a lot of research that helped cure her daughter from what could have been a very deadly disease, autoimmune hepatitis 1. We're going to go back to the telephone lines where we're joined by Charlene now. Charlene, good to have you with us.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Do you believe in this like so-called non-traditional approach or nutritional approach or a holistic approach to healing?
I believe in that.
Why do you think that it does in fact merit our attention?
Because right now I'm going through I had gone through some treatment with my daughter. She has stage 4 cancer in her lungs that has metastasized, and
I'm sorry to hear
so far
that.
all the conventional therapies that she's had have done nothing but totally annihilate her immune system. And it's not the cancer that is affecting her health; it is the treatments that have hurt her. So I'm looking into other alternatives to get her body back into its ultimate state
So
that it can fight.
You can relate to what Denise said earlier in the show then about making your body as strong as it can be through nutrition so that it can fight off the disease itself.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Charlene, thank you so much for sharing your story, and our thoughts and our prayers go out to you and your family, and particularly your daughter. Good luck with that.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sure thing. Thank you. So when you hear a story like that, you realize that you weren't the only parents that had to deal with this, and you feel strongly that any research into this might help.
Right, and if I can say, the reason why I wrote the book is because I want to spread the word. I want to tell the world there are alternative answers to autoimmune diseases. I'm not saying it's going to work for everybody, and even this protocol may not work for everybody, but at least take a chance, because it's not going to hurt you. It's only going to help your body get stronger.
Can we clarify, are you talking about this holistic approach, the combination of belief, medicine, nutrition, spirituality for autoimmune diseases, or do you think that across the board it can be used for all illnesses?
Well, doctors will tell you the placebo effect is very, very important, and it's part of healing. So I think that what got Courtney to the point of perfect health at this point was not only nutrition, but it was that we made her as happy as possible. And I think her belief was that she was going to get well.
And she is well. Mike, she is, how would you describe her as a 17-year-old now?
She's beautiful. She's my girl.
And we wanted her to be on the show, but she says she's lived this and she doesn't need to talk about it anymore. No. So how has she accepted all of it? We see her there. She's an athlete. She's smart. She's beautiful. She's popular.
You know, like I said, she just always believed that she would be well. And so when we told her that, guess what, honey, you're all better, she was like, yeah, okay, can we go out tomorrow? Because she's just a teenager and she doesn't think anything of it.
And
she
yet
just wants to live her life.
I bet Mom and Dad will never forget when they found out that the results of her blood work came back and it was as normal as it should be for a girl her age.
Oh, I dropped to my knees and got real religious.
Spiritual, religious, nutritional, whatever it is, as long as it works. Well, we congratulate you on the success of your daughter's health.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you for sharing it.
So the book is called Curing Courtney. Doctors couldn't save her, so her mom did. Where can we get this?
Amazon.com,
Amazon.com.
BarnesandNoble.com.
Okay. Everybody get the book and read and decide for yourself. It's your call. See you then.